there? Is that a screen behind you?
It's actually a curtain, but everybody thinks it's a screen.
Oh, I see.
All right. Let's be on the record. Case number 2018CR1084, captioned State of Kansas versus Christina Carroll. Would the parties announce their appearances, please?
May it please the court, Candace Alcaraz appears on behalf of the state.
May it please the court, Ms. Carroll with counsel Michael Duma.
All right. We are here set down today for a sentencing. The record should reflect that back on March 14th, the parties appeared at that time. March 14th of 2019. The defendant changed her plea from one of not guilty to guilty. The court inquired and accepted that, ordered a PSI and set it for sentencing. There's been some delays. However, we're ready for that sentencing today. I've received the PSI. The critical findings are as follows. I should note for the record, we started this a little bit early. The PSI writer has not arrived yet, but I think we can continue unless there's going to be some sort of objection to the amended PSI. I don't think there will be. In any event, the findings were that the sole count of conviction was one of identity theft, which is the severity level 8 non-person felony. The defendant's criminal history score was found to be that of C as in Charles. That would leave her normally with a presumption of probation. However, there is a special rule number 9 that she was on felony probation at the time of the offense, which leaves her with no presumption. The presumed range of incarceration would be 17, 18, 19 months. If Ms. Carroll has to do that time, she'd be eligible for 20% good time credit and subject to post-release supervision duration of 12 months. If she's granted probation today, it would be for a period of 18 months to community corrections. I would first ask you, Ms. Alcaraz, have you reviewed the PSI? Do you have any additions, corrections, or challenges to those findings?
Judge, I have reviewed the PSI and I don't have any additions or corrections.
Same question, Mr. Duma.
I've reviewed it with my client, Judge. We have no additions or corrections either.
All right. Given that, I will adopt the findings for today's hearing. And I would ask your comments as to sentencing Ms. Alcaraz.
Judge, I would just ask that you follow the plea agreement in this case. The defendant did plead to identity theft in Newell's case. We did recommend an aggravated term, and we are not opposed to probation. Also, given that this case does come after the 2014 case, which is set for revocation, I do believe the court has to make it follow consecutively. But given what's transpired between counsel and us discussing this case, I have no doubt that the defendant will be able to finish out her probation successfully and never have to worry about serving all of that time.
All right, Mr. Duma.
Judge, I agree with all of that. I would ask that you follow the plea agreement. My client, in an unusual way, absconded for a period of time and, for lack of better words, got her life together, got her kids back, stopped using drugs, and actually assisted members of the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department in apprehending dangerous criminals. And so she's done some good while she's been out, Judge, and I think that Ms. Alcaraz is right. She will continue to do good and be successful on probation.
All right. And I failed to mention this. Do we have this set for a revocation hearing on our other case as well today?
Yes.
Okay. And what are we doing with that case?
Judge, if she's granted probation in the 2018 case, we would just ask for her to be extended on that case so that she can do all the probation time together.
You agree with that, Mr. Duma?
Yes.
Okay. And so at this time, she'd be stipulating to those violations. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So noted. All right. Ms. Carroll, now is your opportunity to tell me anything you want me to know before I pass sentence today. You're muted. You need to take, yep, that's okay. Still muted.
Muted.
Wait, hello?
There you go.
Okay, yeah, no, I don't have nothing to say, Judge.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Carroll. Mr. Duman, know any legal reason why I should not now proceed to sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Well, I'm going to follow the plea agreement and sentence the defendant to a period of 19 months in the Department of Corrections. If she has to do that time, she'll be eligible for 20% good time credit and subject to 12 months of post-release supervision. Her application for probation is considered and it is granted for a period of 18 months to community corrections. This sentence by operation of law must run consecutive to the other case. I need to go down to the case number here, which is 18CR1084. This case is ordered to run consecutive to that case. In the 2014 case, I will find the defendant as stipulated to the violations, and I will reinstate her probation and extend it for a period of 18 months from today to go along with today's sentence. Ms. Carroll, I am particularly proud of you and the changes that you've made. I'm so happy that you've reunited your family and done the things you need to do to keep those together. I know that you're highly motivated to keep that going. So I will tell you this. Look, life I am certain probably as you're sitting here today that you are firmly committed to the fact that your days in the drug lifestyle are done. I happen to know this. I expect you to be successful. I think you're going to be successful, but I understand that life can sometimes trip people up. All right. And the lawyers hear me say this all the time. I'm morally opposed to sending addicts to prison for being addicts. All right. So if you do find yourself, unfortunately, in the future having a slip up, don't think that that means that I'm just going to send you on everything, right? The important thing to me is how you handle that. You know, I know in drug treatment, they talk about the possibility of relapse and the reasons that they happen and how to overcome them. So if you're showing me that you're working hard and you're applying, I don't send people to prison for relapsing, but I do have to, unfortunately, send them if they give up or just go back to the old ways. So you keep working hard. I don't expect you're going to have any problems, but if you do, as long as you're working on them, you're going to be okay with me. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
What do we know, Miss Carroll? How are you making ends meet these days?
Like how am I living? Right now my girlfriend, she works for Amazon, and I was working with her at Amazon, but actually I got another interview today at Amazon. They're having a hiring event, so I'm going today.
Fantastic. Good employer, good work they have there. All right. Well, given that, I think that Ms. Carroll has the wherewithal to pay the court costs and supervision fees in this case. Mr. Duma, are you appointed?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know what your bill is?
Judge, I don't. This case is, I don't have it tabulated at this moment. It's years old, so I'll have to go back.
All right. Well, I'll just go ahead and waive everything except $100. I think that that would be appropriate, and I don't want to overburden Ms. Carroll with financial obligations. I think once she becomes gainfully employed, she could afford to pay $100 a month, and that should get her paid off well before she's out of off of supervision. So that's going to be the court's order. There doesn't need to be a database fee because Ms. Carroll's already in the database. So that would be the sum total of her costs and fees. Ms. Alcaraz, do you have jail time credit calculated?
Yes, Judge. In the 2014 case, she has 154 days. And in this 2018 case, she has 49 days. So I can leave the 49 days on the journal entry for the 2018 case, or I can switch them over to the 2014 case. It doesn't matter to me, but that's the numbers that she's got.
Okay. All right. You agree with that, Mr. Duma?
Yes.
All right. Miss Daling's trying to join us, but for some reason she's not able to. She was the PSI writer. Give me 1 second. All right. Miss Carroll, just so you know, you have 14 days from today to appeal anything you don't like about your sentence. You also may be able to seek expungement of this conviction after a period of time following successful completion of probation. As a convicted felon, it's prohibited for you to own or possess a firearm. Certain kind of deadly cutting instruments like dirks, daggers, switchblades, basically knives that could be considered deadly weapons. All right. I won't go through the whole list. Mr. Duma can tell you more if you're interested. But suffice it to say, before you decide to own or possess any kind of firearm, make sure you talk to a good lawyer like Mr. Duma to make sure that it wouldn't be a reason to revoke a probation or add new charges, okay?
Yeah.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Ms. Alcaraz, anything that I have failed to cover today?
No, Judge, I do believe you've covered everything. And Mr. Duma, I will email you these journal entries shortly so that you can review them.
All right. Mr. Duma, same question. Anything I failed to cover today?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Then we're going to be adjourned. Ms. Carroll, I have a couple of representatives from probation here. Carrie, we just kind of finished up. Sorry, we're off the record, Ronnie. They asked to go early because Mr. Duma had to leave, and Mr. Duma, you can go if you want. We're off the
Okay.
record.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone.
And I forgot, I mentioned, I looped everyone in but you. And Ryan, you're here. We don't usually have you for sentencing. Is there?
Oh, well,
Right.
there was a revocation hearing as well as.
Oh, yes. Okay. So unfortunately, we just finished, and here's what happened. I gave Miss Carroll an underlying sentence in the new case and ran it consecutively to the old case. She was granted probation. She stipulated to the violations in the old case, and she was reinstated and extended for a period of 18 months to go along with the new case. So while we're all here, Ryan, would you like to tell Ms. Carroll what you need her to do to get her new probation started and get back on this probation?
Yes, Judge, thank you. Carol, what is your phone number?
913.
Okay.